It's SuperStarcraftBros.
Grandmaster?
Monday.
Sure.
You don't know what day it is now,
I don't know
you?
what day we're putting
I think we're
this
going to
on.
cast completely out of order this week because technical difficulties with Heart of the Swarm is forcing us to do Wings of Liberty early on in the week. So, whatever. Alright, we have a Grandmaster game for you guys this very first day of the normal work week. I'm Jay.
I'm Iron Sparks.
And that's a lot of Ash and Theta. And A is with a squiggle. And oh, there we go, a heart. See, they're just trying to find their heart.
Yep, they have like a really weird keyboard.
Jibbery jab of whatever language they have.
Alright, so as you guys can see, we're just looking at some Grandmaster players.
Alright, and we do have a ZvP on Entombed Valley. I feel like I haven't seen this map in a long time. So Iron Sparks, without further ado, who are our Grandmasters today?
In our top left corner we have our red Zerg, LiquidSnute. And in our bottom, I hope, right corner, we have our blue Protoss, FXOBabyK.
Alright, Baby K and Snoot.
Look at that logo.
You know, honestly, I've never heard of Baby K.
Me neither, but look at that logo.
The Protoss one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Alright, oh, look at that clip.
I know.
Alright, so Protoss versus Zerg. Decent matchup in Entombed Valley. This should be interesting. Gateway going down already for Baby K, so nothing too cheesy on his end, and it does look like LiquidSnute. Early spotting pull. Instead of getting that, don't give me that look. I expected him to get a hatchery first.
Well, he's probably getting this just in case, you know, to have those early units out so you can get some initial very good scouting out, and then I fully expect to follow suit with a hatchery.
Now, was this a tournament game or just exhibition?
You know, I think this might be it was labeled a public game.
Okay, so just like an exhibition game?
And maybe they happen to run each other on the ladder, or...
Alright, and it does look like LiquidSnute throws down the hatchery, and the spawning pool is about finished.
Cybercore going down for Baby K.
And he'll have plenty of gas when that does finish, so he can start his warp gate tech immediately.
Spawning pool is finished with Snoot, so he's go ahead getting that
first queen
out right away. Looks like he's looking to build some units as well. There we go.
Probably to do some scouting and also grab that Xel'Naga tower.
Alright, so Baby K did finally find his opponent.
And he does see that the hatchery is down. He's going to pop into the main base and see that drone saturation pretty good. He's going to do the death walk through the drone line. Sees that the spawning pool is finished, and now he's got Zerglings behind him.
Alright, so warp gate tech is on the way for Baby K, and he's also getting a stalker out. Not quite. There he goes, crowing out that stalker. Gonna probably use it to counteract those lings that are out early.
Yep, just in case lings decide to run into his base, or he just tries to grab the Xel'Naga tower for himself. It does look like this probe is gonna get a couple hits taken on him.
This probe's trying to blend in.
Yeah. No, I'm a zealot. What are you doing? I'm a zealot. I'm in the middle. See, I'm good.
Alright, so this stalker does pick off one of those lings.
And he's going to force that other ling probably back to the Xel'Naga tower. But it looks like that stalker's got vengeance on his mind, or a Xel'Naga tower, same thing. Alright,
so Snoot go ahead, establishing his third, got a second queen up, and a lot of lings on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Expansion going on for Baby K, so this might be a little bit of trouble because he's not going to have as many units out to defend.
No, there's no forge out, there's no defensive cannons.
The stalker has gone out, killed another ling. You know, it's thirsty for those blood.
That blood.
Those blood.
The blood?
Those blood.
Those blood. Yep. Okay.
So
it does look like the stalker finds the third expansion, and this other stalker's like, oh, the hell, we got a lot of lings.
Oh, U-turn.
Stalker is trying to make its way home. It's like it's running full speed. It's stretching its legs out as fast as it can.
The stalker was booking
and the other stalker's like, run, brother! I will take the hit.
Yeah, the stalker who was out for vengeance had revenge taken on him.
And it does look like back at the base we have two stalkers and a sentry. Force field's not going to be able to bridge the gap in that wall. Yeah, or maybe it is. Ooh, good placement. Well, he knows his location. And that ling pack is forced back. But it does look like a couple more lings join the pack to reinforce. And another force field's probably going to get thrown down.
Yeah, if he gets some more stalkers, he'll have enough.
Are you okay? Are you... Okay, well, Iron Sparks recovers. It does look like Forge is on the way. Hallucinations on the way for the sentries, a very interesting call here. Another pylon thrown down at the wall so that the stalker can kind of fill in that gap so he doesn't have to waste too many force fields. And it looks like BabyK has recovered fairly quickly and defended off this very early Zergling rush.
And what I was going to say, if he gets more sentries, he'd be able to continuously force field, but instead he elected to get that pylon. And instead of having a zealot take the spot, he has that stalker over there.
I do like it because it frees up a bit of gas because the sentries are so gas intensive. So a good call, except a couple more sentries are morphed in now.
And I'm very curious about the hallucination. Did he let that finish? Yes, it did finish. So
I mean, it's going to be great for scouting.
And that's exactly what I anticipate it being for.
And as long as, if he does it at the right time, it might force LiquidSnute to think that he has a early gateway, or I mean Stargate on the field. So that'll definitely be an interesting route. I think it's going to be really interesting because in Heart of the Swarm, I don't know if I said the word interesting enough in that sentence cluster, but in Heart of the Swarm, hallucination will no longer be a research skill. It'll automatically be known by the sentry. So I think that's going to make the sentry even more dynamic.
Yeah, so
even more must-have for the Protoss army.
Yeah, and he did go ahead and make a Phoenix to get some very valuable scouting information. He sees that there is a roach getting a Twilight comes by. I would not be surprised to see a Robo thrown down right now.
Yep, we do have that Twilight Council about halfway finished now, and it looks like, oh no, the army for BabyK might be a bit out of position to handle these lings, which are, oh, nice warping of the Zealot.
So he did kill that Overlord that was down there spotting the third expansion, but he's going to have enough time to get his army over here to defend.
And it did pretty much supply block LiquidSnute. I mean, it got him right on the number. And it did stop any type of a reinforcing links or such. Ooh, force fields popping down, trapped the roaches.
Yeah, and there is this robo facility on the way, but it's, you know, Immortals will be really great against these roaches, but I think these units right here are going to be enough to pick it off. He gets some very nice force fields to get the roaches kind of surrounded, kind of fumbling around while they're trying to do stuff, and right now he just has to focus, take these down. Right now he's supply blocked, of course.
Yeah, just a magnificent force field throw down. He is supply blocked because that little end cap pylon was destroyed in that attack,
as well as the one over here.
But he immediately threw down a force field and it stopped any units from actually getting inside the base. It did unpower that Twilight Council, but he's throwing pylons down left and right to get those back up. And we have a observer getting chrono boosted out of the robotics facility.
And he has went ahead, fully walled off this ramp over here with gateways, while Snute has went ahead and taken 2 more expansions. Wow,
so we're going to have a 5-base Zerg against a 3-base Protoss, which actually I think in the long run is fairly equal. I mean, a 2-base Protoss is a pretty scary thing, and a 3-base Protoss is just no-no.
You know, I'm really curious if BabyK is going to elect to go the Colossus route. Because he knows that those roaches are on the field. The roaches are in pretty decent numbers. I mean, we got 5 on the field right now, but he is making 6 more. And he's also electing to make the infestation pit, so that'll be interesting where he goes from that.
Now, is that the movement upgrade for the Overlord, or the carry capacity that the Zerg player is doing? I can't.
That is movement speed.
Okay, so he's getting increased movement speed. Now the infestation pit is finished for LiquidSnute. I'm wondering if he is going to go Infestor.
Well, he is getting Pathian Grounds.
Alright, he's definitely going Infestor then, which will be a good call for the Zerg player.
But will it be good enough to counteract this?
No, actually, not really. So Colossus Tech is on the way. A lot of Zerglings popping out for LiquidSnute. And he's taking out some of the rocks in the middle of the map to open up some avenues, and actually this attacking army might be spotted. Actually, well, the rock's gone is spotted.
I think he saw like this very top corner of the wings, however, the rocks aren't there, so...
So, I mean, if BabyK does decide to expand out there, that northern defensive barrier is now gone, and Observer's doing a bit of a patrol work in the middle of the map, seeing what's going on, and right now it does look like BabyK has a pretty small army.
But you know, it's really going to explode pretty soon. I mean, he's getting the Colossus, he's getting the Starport, he's getting the Templar Archives.
Everything in this game.
You know, I fully expect there to be an Archon toilet on the way.
Most likely, he's probably priming to get that fleet beacon and get out that mothership. Spine crawler wall being formed near the middle valley of the ramp. We got a couple infestors wiggling their way across the creep.
Yeah, Snute going ahead, getting his macro house, getting a Bangling Nest and a Spire all at the
Wow,
same time.
it's like, let's see how much tech we can stuff in one game.
And looking to upgrade Snute, Snute's getting +2 melee attack and ground carapace.
I think he's trying to beef up to... It looks like Broodlords. I mean, he's getting his melee upgrades down. He's got the Spire on the way. I really think he's going Broodlords.
Yeah, now Snute, he sees that High Templars are on the way. He's going to see that the Colossus tech is available. Yeah. And now he sees the Fleet Beacon as well.
Alright, so it looks like both players pretty much know what each other's doing. It's almost as if they were playing with no Fog of War on. And that Overseer is going to sit right above the main base and just be like, hey, I'm just gonna watch.
Mm-hmm.
A couple more Hallucinated Phoenix making their way across the map into Zerg territory, spotting again what they're doing.
Yeah, he says he sees the Infestors, he sees the Macro House, he sees...
It'd be really interesting if he starts mixing in Phoenix into his army and throwing off the Zerg player because he's going to constantly think that they're hallucinations.
You know, he even potentially saw the Spire. It looks like BabyK is getting ready to take another expansion.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to move out yet because he is heading towards that southern center mineral line. So probably, what was that? Just hallucination energy? Or oh yeah, he hallucinated a Colossus. Very interesting.
Let's see, and we also have Neural Parasite on the way, probably to counteract the Mothership that's going to be coming.
Either grab the Mothership or maybe grab a Colossus to do a lot of splash damage onto BabyK's own units.
Snute is definitely preparing his units for some kind of attack. He's got these Infestors over here with the Roaches Lynx, Infestors up at the top as well. And looking like he's going to force an engagement to come.
Yeah, a lot of Infested Terran thrown down. They're going to take a lot of the splash damage from the Colossus and that Archon up in the front.
And from the back, we got some Lynx and Infestors.
Ooh, and here we go, a pincher move. Both Infestor armies and Roach's armies split up to try and sandwich this Protoss army.
So the Colossus, they are in the back trying to stay safe, and all these...
Where's the back when you're sandwiched?
All these Infested Terran are going to pop up and just totally annihilate a lot of these units. The Colossus, they're able to do some damage, and most of them will survive, but he lost a lot of his army in that.
A lot of Stalkers were lost in the engagement, a lot of Zealots because of that pincer play from LiquidSnute. A very interesting play. That's what I figured LiquidSnute was going to do when he threw down those initial Infested Terran, so I really like that maneuver in that play from LiquidSnute.
But you know, I think because of the upgrade, because of BabyK's upgrades, he was able to understand that. I mean, he has +3 attack. He's working on his +1 shields right now, which will do great for the Archons.
Now that is interesting because he hasn't worked on the armor yet for his Protoss units, but that shield is going to benefit every unit, especially those Archons.
Yeah, since Archons have very little to next to no health, you really need the shields upgrade for Archons to survive. And like I mentioned before, we're going to be seeing that Mothership. He also has a Warp Prism on the way, probably to use it as a little way to warp in, do some damage. He inadvertently stops at a hatchery, and now these Zealots are going to be walking and do some decent damage. However, all these Roaches are ready to attack, and there's Spore Crawler nestled in within those drones.
And Iron Sparks, we do have the Greater Spire on the way, so Broodlords are on the way for LiquidSnute. Going to be an interesting call. And just to finish off the entire Protoss tech tree, Dark Shrine.
You know what we're missing?
Those battery chargers from StarCraft 1?
Nope, he has every single building.
He literally has every single building.
And what we're missing from over here is a lot of defense to keep this Spire alive.
No one's running in with a pack of Zealots sniping that Greater Spire.
Yeah, the only unit we won't be seeing over here is Ultras.
Would you just wait? We'll probably see it.
Alright, so War Prism does try to do some damage, however these Roaches are literally sitting right under it.
Yeah, they are ready. Council on those Zealots, save some of the minerals, and it looks like the War Prism's going to jump in here. Probably see a Fungal on whatever warps in. It looks like we have a hallucinated War Prism to try and draw off. And it does force a Fungal on the wrong unit. So, nifty little move saves that War Prism.
Alright, so these Zealots are trying to do some damage, but of course...
I mean, there's an entire box of spine crawlers around this.
It did manage to take one out, but it just wasn't enough. Looking at... We have a little bit of movement up here, clean up some of the creep tumors. But right now we got 5 Broodlords on the way, another Spire, so he's really going to be focusing on those upgrades.
Yeah, +1 attack for the air air units is about halfway finished. We have the level 3 plating and level 3 melee, so those little broodlings that pop out of the broodlords are going to be really, really powerful.
Exactly.
And I would like to see more units from BabyK right now.
You know, I'm pretty sure...
It's a lot of Infestors Iron Sparks.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it already has +3 attack for the ground army.
And it's actually...
I couldn't find any
For
units.
BabyK, it is +3.
And he is working on +2 shields.
Yeah, which will definitely help out. You know, I've always kind of wondered, do you want to go the shield route or the armor route? I know it's a little cheaper to get the shield, or not the shield, but the armor.
I think if you're going to go Archon, shield's definitely the way to go. But other than that, I think
it gives added shield to the mothership, it gives added shield to all your buildings, so I mean it helps everything, that's why it costs a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think the armor's better when you're using other units.
I think if you're going Gateway, armor's the way to go.
Yeah, even Gateway and Robo armor, because you regenerate your shield.
Yeah.
You don't regenerate your life.
Alright.
That's why you shouldn't do drugs, kids. Alright, so both armies looking pretty maxed out. We got a secondary Robo facility coming down for BabyK as well as another expansion. And up at the Zerg side of the map, we just have a +1 missile attack, +1 flyer carapace, and additional hatcheries.
A lot of spines.
And a couple spores being thrown around.
Right.
And we got a few DTs warped in trying to do a little bit of damage. He's going to be able to do a little bit up here since there's no spore. And over here he might be able to pick off a couple of these infestors if he wanted to, but instead he's going to go ahead and move up into the base.
That's a lot of spine crawlers.
That one isn't instantly picked off, as well as this one. It was fungled in place. As let's see, this one is able to do some damage. Might be able to force a cancel on his hatchery, but instead these infestors are just going to go. Bleh.
Yeah, they get the fungal down on the DT, which knocks out its shields.
Well, knocks out the invisibility.
Yeah, well, that's the cloak. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding.
And it does force the DT to die a painful death.
If at first you don't succeed,
send 4 more in.
Try again. Alright, so we got a flyer upgrade 2 coming from the Zerg player, and even more corruptors are being made. And for after we watch
DTs are like, we see you got this hatchery, but you know what? No.
Let's see, they do barely get it off before getting fungled and revealed.
Yeah, but that hatchery is destroyed. And holy warp prisms.
You know, I think he's really trying to make him paranoid.
I think if he does it correct,
and now he's just throwing away the sentries. He's figured, you know, I'll use something for him, then I'll just get rid of him.
It looks like he's gonna throw a warp prism at every base to try and throw some mass confusion on. And
oh, he actually did probably try to drop and kill this with an immortal DT and Zealot. However, it didn't work, obviously.
It's not enough landing zone near enough the Greater Spire to actually do any damage.
And that's a lot of spores.
Those spores down and spores attack like mini little machine guns. They're like the building format of the Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Another hallucinated Colossus heading over to its hallucinated doom.
Literally all the players can do right now is upgrade, since they're both maxed out. He's going ahead taking out these rocks even though the other rocks are already gone. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Let's pick up some creep tumors.
Probably a better call. I mean, he's maxed out. He has resources. It's not like he's hurting for money.
And he has +2 shield, getting his first armor upgrade right now.
And it's just about to finish as well. More broodlords morphing in, and it looks like we have the flyer armor 2 on the way. In addition to both range attacks from flying and ground 2 going, and we got the boosters for is that the Observer or the Warp Prism?
It is the... Well, he already got the Warp Prism one.
Okay, so that is the Observer speed. So right now it's just look at us build everything and upgrade everywhere.
He's just waiting for the right time.
We got a mini engagement here. These roaches are going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You know, I think he was hoping to pick stuff up, but I don't think he was worried if he lost his supply.
No, and those roaches, because they do cost 2 supply each, is going to free up quite a bit for LiquidSnute, and that's going to equal a lot of broodlords.
Yeah, he instantly makes 5 more corruptors. I mean, just looking at the unit tabs right now, we have 12 broodlords on the field.
Yeah, and those are 12 broodlords with practically 2/2. And a fully upgraded broodlings.
Alright, so it looks like BabyK is trying to force a little bit of destruction.
And I like how he pulled those Archons back with the mothership, because he's definitely looking to do an Archon toilet.
And if he gets it off, that'll fully neutralize all 12 broodlords.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much going to reset the game if that happens. little bit of a fungal growth on the stalkers at the front of the Protoss army.
He has to be careful with this mothership because those infestors do have neuroparasite.
They do, and a reverse placed vortex would not be a fun situation for BabyK.
And there is an observer, so he'd be able to still see the units, but I don't know.
Still.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like BabyK has retreated back to the Xel'Naga Tower and back with LiquidSnute. It looks like he's getting a little bit of harassment from the real warp prisms.
Will the real warp prison please stand up?
No, it's not the 90s. What are you doing?
Alright, a couple DTs warped in to do some damage. There is a overseer, but there's nothing to attack.
No, there is that
Corruptor
out there, and it's gonna be like,
going after that warp prison. Alright, so the overseer does check out what's going on. I think he might actually be able to get this prior to the infestors getting over here.
Yeah, one more hit. Oh, there we go. So that hatchery does go down. That unfortunate, sad hatchery.
Since that initial, the overseer still. Oh, neuroparasited him.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and we have a big drop down up here with the Zealot DT and Immortal.
All that attention to all those DTs is like throwing everything off. And the hive might go down.
But I don't think he's worried about it. Not at all.
Here we go. The units are starting to focus on the hive. I'm looking for that red blob, but there it is.
Here comes the Broodlords. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage because none of these attack air, but right now BabyK really needs to push up, which is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, we do have the Protoss Deathball heading into the Spine Forest.
Fully expect to see, of course, the fungals and the neuroparasite could be just around the corner. He's not
yeah, neuroparasite on a couple of the Archons, which are turning around and doing splash damage to the Protoss army.
And
do you think it'd be good just to do a vortex on the infestors?
He's definitely waiting for these Broodlords to come in, but he lost most of those Archons right there.
Yeah, a lot of either DTs or high temp need to be warped in so he can rebuild that Archon count. Instead, he's going for Stalkers.
But the Stalkers can be good. They can blink forward and take off those infestors. If he does have blink, he does. Of course,
he's got everything. Every form of tech has already been researched, and those are scary upgrades on the way, Iron Sparks. We have 3-3 for the Flyers.
I don't think I've seen that recently.
I don't think I've ever seen that graphic.
I don't think I've ever seen this many Spine and Spore Crawlers.
I kind of wish that they'd be included in the unit template, or the unit log, so we could see. You hit the wrong button, didn't you? You hit the rewind button. I can't believe you hit the rewind button.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure. Is this where we were?
Yeah, it's close.
No, I think we were a little farther ahead. Sorry about that, guys. Iron Sparks a little carried away with his keyboard. So look at this this beautiful attack that happened earlier.
Here, since we let's see. I don't know where we are in the game right now.
We're pretty much back. He's running back. We're probably going to see that giant warp in of Stalkers again. And here comes this attack on the hive.
Okay, this was the attack. This was the attack that we were distracted with the DT. So we really wanted you guys to see this.
So I mean, extractors were taken out, a couple queens. It looks like mostly spines taken out. It looks like the Roach Warren and the spawning pool were kind of just left alone. Infestation Pit was targeted, which was a good call from the Zealots to get rid of that massive amount of LiquidSnute's army. And it does look like the Broodlords move up. I don't remember if the Hive fell because we started looking elsewhere, but oh my god, this little
the Hive did fall, as well as probably this Evo Chamber. Back here we saw this happen, the attack, but just looking over here, the Broodlords did stay behind long enough to take these out. The Evo Chamber was taken out, but the Roach Warren and Spawning Pool were spared. And back here, 4 Archons were lost in this battle.
Yeah, and there's that one mind-controlled Archon that I don't know if he's going to have the Broodlord attack or what. There you go. That way, when that Neuroparasite runs out, you can have a Archon just like, I'm going to seek some revenge now.
You know what, even though these 2 weren't taken out, well, this one might.
There's still a unit streaming in from that Warp Prism.
He built another Roach Warren.
Just in case.
And...
No other spawning pool?
No, he built another spawning pool. I just can't find it.
Alright, well, it does look like the original spawning pool was taken out.
No, it's
still there. Roach Warren, actually, it's off the creep now, so it is going to slowly bleed to death. So, yeah, BabyK completely content on losing his main.
like, okay, I'll just rebuild it.
And I guess the only good thing about this, though, BabyK did lose a lot of his units. He forced Snute to stay in his own base. But you can really tell that both these players are really just more concerned on putting on a show for the viewers.
I think they're just trying to find the exact moment where they can get the best position.
I think they're just trying to do like a huge hammer blow to their opponents. And right now, a lot of damage done to this forest of spine crawlers. It looks like the mothership is going to move up to provide some type of protection to her little baby Protoss units.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like BabyK is quite content on falling back to the Xel'Naga Tower, and it looks like another Warp Prism attack is on the way.
Yeah, if you really can distract Snute again like he did with that big attack in the main, he can really move his army up. Maybe not engage directly with anything exactly, but take out a lot of those spines, a lot of those spores.
Yeah, that is going to weaken the defensive for the Zerg player. Now, there's really not going to be anything coming from these Warp Prisms because BabyK reinforced his army with Archons, and instead it looks like he's going the opposite direction to attack this forest of spine crawlers. But it looks like he's going to engage with the Broodlords north of him.
Yeah, it can be very interesting what he does with this. He is freeing up supply for those Warp Prisms, so he could potentially be warping in units right now as we speak. Just to check over here, we have this Warp Prism up in position, warping in some DTs since he did, again, like I just said, free up supply. And this one also moving into position as well.
Yeah, it does look like he's very content on just destroying some tech structure buildings. And a couple Zelts are going to head into this base as well. Was there any type of detection over there? Yes. Yes, there was. So a lot of these DTs just going to fall to their death because of those because of the detection provided by, I think, a spore collar on the top part of that base.
No, the spore collar is right here.
Oh, okay.
He killed it.
It looks like they are going to target this hatchery, and the hatchery does go down. And back at the western forest of spines, a little bit of an engagement with these Archons and Stalkers. And again, another couple Zealots streaming in, and they're just slaughtering the baby Zergs.
Good. Alright, so right now BabyK knows he can't directly engage his army, so he's trying to pick him away a little bit.
Well, at this point, with so many Broodlords and Corruptors on the field, combined with these massive fields of spines, really his best bet is what he's doing, and it's doing little guerrilla hit-and-run tactics at the hatcheries, to the relatively new hatcheries at that, because that's where all the minerals are coming from.
Exactly, and it looks like we do have the Broodlords starting to move out across the field.
3/3 Broodlords with 3/3 Broods. Lings, that's scary. I mean, how much damage does a Brood Ling come when it flies
Alright, this Stalker does get ahead, blink ahead, is going to be able to pick off a couple of these Broodlords, so wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to blink again. However, that would be risky.
Broodlords do turn around, though, and throw their little floating babies at him and take out a couple of the Stalkers that were involved in that blink attack. And it does look like...
Sounds like a Pokemon move.
A blink attack?
Blink attack!
A lot of the infestors from early on in the game are still there, and they have a ton of energy now. These Zealots are trying to destroy everything around this base, while the DTs over at the main have pretty much cleaned up that location.
Alright, now we have a little bit of engagement. Looks like he's going to go ahead and pull back, but he is taking out quite a little bit of these infestors.
A lot of infestors.
But he goes ahead and sacrifices these two Colossus.
You know, and I really think what that does for him is freeze up supply when it comes to Archons.
Yeah, but I don't think he really wanted to lose those Colossus because he's immediately remaking them.
Well, they were fungled in place, so it's, yeah, you know.
And I don't know if he doesn't remember about these DTs or thought they were doing something, but they're really just sitting here not doing anything. And this War Prism is going to be taken out pretty soon.
Yeah, a bunch of infested Terran are thrown down to take care of that War Prism. And now those inactive DTs are pulled down the ramp, and they are going to make their way over to the natural, or no, what would have been the third. And oh! They have a clear shot at a Spire. I'm sorry, I thought that was the Greater Spire for a second.
No, that's surrounded, remember?
Yeah, that is surrounded. So it looks like he's queued them up to take out the spawning pool, then the second Spire,
but
then
you know
the
what?
hatchery.
You can take as many spawning pools as you want. There's always going to be another one coming.
Yeah, there's another one in production right now for LiquidSnute. That second Spire is going to be taken out, but again, the Greater Spire already exists.
I thought he was making 2 spawning pools.
And all the upgrades are done as well. And a Hive in production again to get that tech back. And,
just looking at
this
real quick.
changelings are ugly when they're not morphed.
Snute has, I wouldn't really count this as a mining base.
No.
Kind of. No.
He is mined out on gas almost everywhere.
So he's really only mining on 2 bases.
And now that base is oversaturated because a lot of those drones ran away from the initial attack on that top right base.
And then looking at babyK, mined out. I mean, there's not even crystals there anymore.
No, he's using a lot of space for warp gates.
Just about mined out.
But it looks like
Still
he did expand to the western part of
Yeah.
the map, and oh, LiquidSnute doing all sorts of tractor tricks, and he's actually getting plus 200 supply.
These are actually
that's cheap.
This is not extractor.
Oh,
tricks. It's
spine?
like the spine stuff. And just looking at these units, because we have nothing else. We have 20 Broodlords on the field.
That's unheard of. Here we go. Huge
And there's the blink
engagement.
forward. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the time for that vortex.
Yeah, it's just the question is where does he put the vortex? The Archons are all the way in the back, and it looks like a lot of the Protoss army might start running into no one can get to the vortex because of the Zerg units.
These
Holy
Broodlords are
vortex.
slowly being these Broodlords are being forced in, slowly going into this vortex, but you know there's nothing else in there.
There's nothing. There was no Archon toilet, and the supply count right now for babyK is drastically lower than LiquidSnute.
You know, I just don't see him recovering this. He tried to get that vortex, but it just wasn't good positioning. We had the Broodlords not only from that side, but the other side as well, and it just wasn't enough to do it. The remaining little bit of army that babyK has left is retreating, and
And even though babyK is sitting on over 10,000 minerals, I don't know if he's going to be able to macro up an army fast enough.
No, I mean...
But you know, the thing is, it does look like LiquidSnute is deciding not to push ahead.
I think he might just be waiting for these 3 additional Broodlords. I mean,
Probably.
he only lost 3 in that battle.
Yep, and he did lose a couple infestors as well.
But you know,
frees up supply and allows them to get more Broodlords.
Losing a couple infestors when you have 27?
Yeah, it's chump change. It's infestor change.
You know, Snute literally could right now just go and roll over his opponent.
Yeah, a bunch of changelings moving in to try and scout out the Protoss army, and actually, it does look like the Protoss army has been rebuilt.
Yeah, he has rebuilt rather quickly. He has 4 Colossus and a very large handful of Stalkers, as well as a few Archons, but if he has another engagement like he did before, he's really going to lose all his units really quickly. The Fungal's going off, the Broodlord's doing a lot of damage, a couple of them are picked off, but this is just a lot of DPS.
The Broodlords are doing way too much damage to babyK's army. And, you know, not only do they do a ton of damage, but they're annoying because they block your army, they restrict your movement and your strategic plans on micro.
Yeah, so that very large amount of Stalkers went to next to nothing. A lot of them are warped back in because of the amount of warp gates he has, but this is still a lot of Broodlords on the field.
Now babyK still has a lot of resources. He does have a lot of warp gates, so he would be able to replenish his armies incredibly fast.
And the mothership did just find its way back on the field, but it does not have enough energy for a vortex.
It is going to allow to provide that cloak over the army. But, I mean, you have all those zealots that are changelings just sitting right there, taking a look at what's going on, and now it looks like the much-needed operational mining bases are going to be slowly picked off by infested Terran and broodlings.
Yeah, and not only are these changelings providing some scouting, but they're blocking.
Yeah, they're acting like basketball blocking, where you'll shield the shooter or something like that. That's what they're doing.
It looks like babyK is trying to get some decent position on these infestors, but these Broodlords are still here. You
know, the good thing though is a lot of the energy has been depleted by these infestors, so we're probably going to see a lot of the infestors melt away now from the Colossus lasers.
But there's also a lot of infested Terran and a lot of broodlings on the field.
It's going to be an interesting call to see what happens between the two armies now that the infestors are out of energy. But you know what? The best way to get more infestors with energy is pop 11 more out.
But another little bit of a downfall, losing that mining base up there, being virtually mined out of all your bases. babyK does not have gas.
No, he doesn't. He is sitting on 7,000 minerals, but
on the other side of the coin, neither does Snute.
Yeah, Snute is actually starting to run out of resources a little faster than babyK because he is going gas intensive.
He just made 6 more Broodlords. Alright, so we're probably going to see a blink forward try to get under these broodlings. There we go. But again, I don't think there's enough energy for a vortex. If there was, this would be a perfect position for it. And actually there is, but the Broodlords did pull out just before it went down.
A couple Archons running their way into the vortex. That's a lot of them.
Let's just run everything in there.
So when this pops out, this is going to be a crazy melee. Oh, I cannot wait to see what happens when this thing pops.
Yeah.
Here comes all the units. Splash damage everywhere. A lot of the Broodlords that were sucked into the vortex are dying.
Yeah, and these Broodlords that are not fully, that are in their cocoon state are also going to be killed instantly. One of them does survive, but like I keep saying, there are still 7 Broodlords on the field. If he does get some decent blinks, he might be able to take him out. The Overseers do come to provide the vision. The mothership was bungled blink forward to try to take these out, but then there's all the infested Terrans, the spine crawlers, there's the Broodlords themselves doing the damage, and we have some confuses going off on these the Broodlords to try to keep them going.
Yeah, a lot of spines have been destroyed. That Hatchery's gone down for Snute, so even though BabyK has had a lot of units die in this engagement, he's done enough damage to LiquidSnute where LiquidSnute is falling back. Trying to draw BabyK's army into these spine crawlers to try and do a little extra damage, and also, you know, replenish the energy on these infestors.
Yeah, but if BabyK keeps us hitting, just getting favorable positioning, I mean, these infestors, they don't have that much energy left. They maybe a few of them can do fungus, but the rest are just
Yeah, and now that we have this, you know, all these minerals, over 4,000 minerals have already been spent from BabyK since the last time we looked at his resources, have been used with Zealots, and the Zealots are doing a lot of work, and they're actually being a really efficient unit right now.
A blink forward to try to take these infestors out even faster. These Colossus in the back are able to do a lot of work. The mothership does go down, but I think it's done enough work to be
I think these Stalkers want to wipe out these Corruptors to allow these Colossus to fight a little bit more.
And it does blink back, and now there's just one lone Broodlord up here trying to do some damage over here. We got these Zealots trying to chase some of these infestors, but he pulls back to regroup his army. This is going to be instantly taken out, and the Zerglings don't stand a chance.
Yeah, a lot of Zerglings have been hatched onto the field to try and deal with this because, you know, they're cheap.
There's no gas.
Yeah, there's no gas whatsoever.
There's the GC from LiquidSnute, and BabyK takes the game.
Yeah, so you guys leave a comment down below on how you think the game went. Hit that like button. Share.
Was it long enough for you?
Yeah, was it long enough? Hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it, and send us your own replay. We don't just cast Grandmasters. Send it to SuperStarcraftBros@gmail.com. Good luck, have fun.
GG.
GG.